Good morning again, and we are going to do text completion, what we were doing in our last class. Again we will look at single and double blank questions. I have been telling you quite often text completion is not about vocabulary as much as it is about sentence comprehension. So, one tip that I can give you is that you should figure out the context of the entire paragraph, read the paragraph entirely first, only then look through the options given. Fill in the blanks and try all the options always as a practice. In the case of most questions, both words are given within the same option. This makes things easier for you because it is easier to get both right than find a single right answer. All options may seem similar or equally apt, but there is always only one best answer, remember that. So, read through the options carefully and try each within the sentence before you choose the best fit. Let us look at the first exercise here. Non-violent demonstrations often create such tensions that a community that has constantly refused to its injuries is forced to correct them. The injustices can no longer be dash. Acknowledged or ignored, decreased or verified, tolerance accepted, address eliminated, explained, discussed. Best answer is answer A, acknowledged and ignored. You have to note the use of colon there, two dots. This usually means that the author is adding something not directly related, but important to the original clause. Therefore, acknowledged and ignored is the best answer. Look at the second set now, question 2. Since 1813, reactions to Austen, again we are talking about Jane Austen here, have oscillated between dash and condescension, but in general later critics have admired her works more highly than did most of her literary. Dismissal admirers, adoration contemporaries, disapproval readers, indifference followers, approbation precursors. The best answer is adoration and contemporaries. See, between oscillated between when we say oscillated, what does it mean? Swing between two extremes. So, you swing between adoration and condescension, that is looked down upon, but in general later critics have become her admirers much more, and they appreciate her work much more than most of her literary contemporaries. We will look at set 3 now, question 3. As yet there are no vegetation systems or ecosystems whose study has been perfected, hinder, exhausted interest, prolonged require, prevented challenge, delayed benefit, to the extent that they no longer dash ecologists. So, best answer is option B is exhausted and interest. None of the other options fit in well with the sentence. Exhausted and interest makes sense, it does not hold that perfect studies hinder ecologists and so on. So, look at the set 4. Under the ethical framework recently adopted by the Central Institutes of Health, human genes are to be manipulated only to correct diseases for which similar treatments, most treatments, dangerous treatments, uncommon treatments and alternative treatments are unsatisfactory. Option E is the best answer. Here gene treatments are to be considered an option only when there is nothing else available. Therefore, alternative is the best response. Let us look at the next set. It was their opinion that the country's problems had been foreseen, attacked, ascertained, exacerbated and analyzed by foreign diplomats, so that to invite them to return would be rather counterproductive. So, the best choice is exacerbated, that is option D. Inviting diplomats back is counterproductive, which implies that they were never useful in the first place. This shows that the option has to be something negative. So, exacerbated is the best fit. You have to look up the meaning of the word exacerbated. Question 6. Donald Mayhew, the artist, could draw with amazing sincerity, efficiency, virtuosity, rapidity, energy. His comic strip about baby Charlotte was characterized by marvelous craftsmanship and sequencing. The best response would be virtuosity. And what is virtuosity? Almost true to life, because his comic strip about baby Charlotte was characterized by marvelous craftsmanship and sequencing. It is not just being true to life, but extraordinary talent. The option C is the best answer, where all options may fit and make sense even sincerely, but C is the best one because virtuosity is a term used most in conjunction or collocation with creativity. This is an illustration of how some understanding of collocations will help. I have already recommended that you look up the Oxford Dictionary of Collocations. Now, we will move on to set 7. The actual dash of Kissinger's position was always dashed by his refusal to compromise after having agreed initially to negotiate a peace deal. Outcome foreshadowed, logic enhanced, rigidity betrayed, uncertainty alleviated, cowardice highlighted. The best answer is option C. Though all options may fit in grammatically, when talking about political position, writers usually refer to the strength of the stance. Therefore, if it is not a strength, then rigidity of his stance and betrayed. Okay? This becomes the best response. Let us move on to the next exercise. The CEO's reputation, though dashed by false cases of embezzlement, emerged from the ordeal. So, shaken, unscathed, destroyed, intact, damaged, impaired, impugned, unclear, tarnished, sullied. There is the use of the word though, which is a contrast marker. So, make your position or choose your answer when you are looking at though. So, the best answer is though shaken by false cases of embezzlement emerged from the ordeal unscathed, that is untarnished. So, although some change has occurred to the reputation of the CEO, it has emerged somewhat as it did originally because the allegations were false. So, damaged and impaired option may mean the same thing, but it has to be eliminated and the best answer is A. Now, let us look at the next set. Music is not, it is more likely to appeal to an international audience than is poetry, it is strictly regional themes. Democratic, familiar, democratic, technical, complex, provincial. The best answer is option E, that is provincially. It means related to a particular region. The author writes that the music appeals to an international audience, not to a regional one, which makes the option easy to pick. Let us look at the next set. Experienced HR personnel recognize that business students who can discredit, assimilate, impose, disregard, advocate diverse points of view are ultimately more efficient as managers than are the brilliant and innovative students who revert, adhere, refer, incline, relate dogmatically to their own formations. So, which is the best answer? Option B, which is assimilate and adhere. It refers to now when we look at the use of words like dogmatic, it refers to someone whose opinion does not budge, does not change. It is clear that HR personnel prefer the first set of students. So, that means that the author is about to state something negative about the second set. With this in mind, option B becomes more obvious as the right answer. Let us move on to the next set. James's dash review of contemporary novels, which often find great merit in otherwise dash literary gems, must make us respect his critical output in addition to his own well-known literary works. We are talking about the great writer Henry James. Some of you wanted to know the authors or the novels that you should be referring to for developing your language and vocabulary skills. Henry James is one of the foremost writers, but he is very difficult and obtuse. So, read Henry James once you are more comfortable with the English language. Choices are thorough and completed, petulant and unpopular, insightful and unappreciated, unenthusiastic, acclaimed, harsh and undeserving. So, the best choice is option C, insightful and unappreciated. You have to note the use of word otherwise. This means that the novels which are actually literary gems were ignored. His critical output is to be respected. So, insightful and unappreciated is the best option. Let us look at question 12. The significance of the Magna Carta is not in its specific, revolutionary, implicit, controversial, finite provisions, but rather in its greater impact. It made the monarch the subject of common law. The best choice is answer A or option A, which is specific. Remember or notice the use of the words not in, but, greater implies that the blank should be opposed in meaning to greater. So, specific is the best answer. Look at the next set, question 13. The theory of cosmic evolution states that the universe, having begun in a state of simplicity and dash, has dash into great diversity. Look at the choices: equilibrium, modulated, homogeneity, differentiated, contrast, metamorphose, proportion, accelerated, intelligibility, developed. Best answer is option B, homogeneity and differentiation. The universe has evolved into something different. So, the words, two words must depict a progression. So, homogeneity and differentiation. Let us look at question 14 now. Not wishing to appear, the younger member of the research circle refrained from any criticism of the senior member's plan for dividing up responsibility for the entire project. So, reluctant and evaluating, inquisitive and offering, presumptuous and venturing, censorious and undercutting, moralistic and observing. Many of these choices look like the right choice, but the best answer would be option C, presumptuous and venturing. The younger member refrained from proposing or advancing an opinion. So, one can't undercut criticism, so that option can be eliminated. The use of the term younger implies that the members felt odd criticizing, or the member felt odd criticizing the older established members, hence presumptuous and venturing. So, he felt presumptuous, out of turn, okay, too big for his boots, and venturing. So, thank you very much. I hope you benefited from today's lectures. We will continue with more vocabulary related exercises in our next class.